was a blasting qualification run that Mario put his car on the pole with, but he pointed out, racing is always a team effort.
The pole day, we had some problems leading into the qualifying run, and it seems like we tried to inspire one another by just giving it all, everything that we've got. They usually 99.9% of the time give me the best car I could ever expect from anyone, and I try to give them back what they deserve, try to give them back 100% of myself, and as long as we know that prevails, I think we can overcome any disappointment, really.
And the challenge for Mario Andretti and the rest is 200 laps, 500 miles around the magnificent tri-oval that is Pocono International Raceway. And it's a wonderful sunshiny day here in the Pocono Mountains. Hello, I'm Paul Page, and with me today, two-time national champion, the 1977 winner of the Pocono 500, Tom Sneva. Now, Tom, Mario Andretti at the Indianapolis 500 was leading, fell out of the race. At the Michigan 500, exactly the same situation. What's his challenge now? How does he win a 500-miler?
Well, Paul, teams continually strive to gain a competitive edge on the people that they race against. Mario's team, one of the ways they've tried to gain this advantage is through an engine development program, a horsepower advantage. The problem is, when you're on the leading edge of technology, the price that you sometimes pay is reliability.
Pocono itself is one very, very rugged race course. It literally beats the car and driver down. You've driven it. Their challenge there.
Well, there really is. Not only physically to the driver and the equipment, but the mental strain of preparing for every corner, which is quite a bit different on this racetrack. 3 very distinct, different corners. That is the big challenge here. And when the race is over, these drivers, their body's going to tell them that they earned every cent of their paycheck today.
Well, the time for supposition is now over. It's the third jewel in motor racing's Triple Crown, the Pocono 500, and it's time for that most famous command in racing.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
So with the famous command from Roger Markle, the President and Chief Operating Officer of Quaker State Corporation, the engines now fire up and down the pit road here at Pocono International Raceway. Roberto Guerrero, one final swipe of the eyes. There's the points leader. Mario Andretti, the pole sitter. Danny Sullivan, the former winner here. All sit ready now for the green flag. We look up and down the line. Everybody indicates they are fired. Their engine is ready. They are ready to roll out. Officials with their hands in the air saying each row is now ready to go, and we're ready for the start. All the field is set and ready to go, so today it's the Quaker State 500 on Sports World. Field pulls away. Immediately they move up onto the circuit to test what is a very rough straightaway here at Pocono. All 26 cars away and rolling. It's a beautiful day at Pocono, and we are ready to go racing for 200 laps, 500 miles. There are 26 cars in the starting field for the Quaker State 500. The pole sitter is the defending champion, Mario Andretti, and his Chevrolet-powered Lola. The inside of the front row, Rick Mears, is trying to end a 2-year dry spell today. And the outside of the front row is Bobby Rahal. He has never won at Pocono. The second row, on the inside, is Roberto Guerrero. He looks for his first 500 win. Michael Andretti sits in the center of the second row. He won 2 weeks ago at the Michigan 500. And the outside of the second row is young Scotty Brayton, looking for his first IndyCar win. The third row on the inside is A.J. Foyt, the only 4-time winner of the Pocono 500. The center of that row, another veteran, 2-time winner, Al Unser, the Indianapolis champion. And the outside is his son, Al Unser Jr. His best finish here is second. Jeff Brabham is on the inside of the fourth row. He's never won an IndyCar race. 2-time world driving champion Emerson Fittipaldi is in the center of the fourth row. And on the outside, Johnny Rutherford, former Pocono 500 winner, in his backup car because of this crash during practice. But Johnny is uninjured and ready to go in the backup machine. The fifth row on the inside is Kevin Cogan looking for his second IndyCar win. Ari Lyondike sits in the center of the fifth row looking for his first IndyCar win. And the outside is Pancho Carter, the winner of the inaugural Michigan 500, looking for his second IndyCar win. Those are the top 5 rows for the Quaker State 500. And we take a look at the remainder of this field, the final 4 rows. There are 2 gentlemen there who have won IndyCar races, Danny Sullivan, who has won here at Pocono, and Gary Bettenhausen, who is also an IndyCar winner, looking to get back on the winning streak. He has not won since 1973. The fastest rookie is Randy Lewis. We take a look at the course itself. It's a tri-oval, 2.5 miles around. 2 turns that are banked reasonably, and then a very, very flat third turn, only 6 degrees. Some very long straightaways here. The main straight, 3,700 yards long. A new member of our team here, 15 years of television news experience, a 5-year veteran of Indianapolis, my wife, Sally Larvick.
Last year, the rear wing on Rick Mears' race car lost him the race when it came loose while he was in the lead. This year, the rear wing might actually help him win the race, and that's because the Penske crew has developed a means of adjusting the rear wings while in the pits. And the way that they do this is by replacing this small strip of aluminum called the wicker bill. The wicker bill helps adjust the downforce of the rear wing. Now, up until this time, once the wicker bill was placed on the edge of the wing, it remained there. It was stationary. It was very difficult to get out. But now the Penske crew has devised a method whereby they can slip the old wicker bill out and slip the new one in just a matter of seconds. And on a track as rough as this one is, controlling the downforce is crucial to winning this race. Paul?
So we'll keep an eye on Rick Mears' car. It should be much more adjustable. We're looking over the shoulder of Bobby Rahal out on the circuit. One man we will be especially watching, though, is Mario Andretti, the pole sitter, the defending champion. Gary Gerald has that story.
Paul, 2 weeks ago in the Michigan 500, Mario Andretti came up with a performance that was as dominating as any we've seen in recent years in the IndyCar ranks when he opened up a full 2-lap advantage over the field in the early stages. Of course, some motor problems in that Chevrolet power plant cost him a chance for victory, just as it did at Indianapolis in May when he dominated that 500-miler. Of course, there was acute frustration for not only Mario, as we heard him allude a few moments ago, but for every member of this Newman-Haas racing team. The result now, following that frustration, some modifications in that Chevrolet power plant. The big question, can it go 500 miles today? Mario and every member here would gladly trade the 5 poles that they've won this year, including a pole start today at Pocono, for the simple assurance that they could go to the distance this afternoon. I can guarantee you, everybody in this field knows that if Mario Andretti and this team can shake off the tough mechanical luck that has plagued them this year and go 500 miles here this afternoon, this team is going to be very tough to beat.
All right, Gary Gerald, we take a look at Mario Andretti and the front row. Rick Mears, Bobby Rahal, as they come through the second turn off of the Long Pond Straight. Tom Sneva, the key here is going to be keeping that machine working for 500 miles.
Well, no question about it, Paul. It's a long race on a rough racetrack, and, right now we're looking at a lot of adrenaline flow here. It's not a problem with psyching yourself up for the start of a race. Actually, they're trying to psych themselves down, get it under control, and the concerns vary as you go back through the rows on the grid. Later in the pack, they have to be concerned about things that might happen because they realize if it happens, it's a good chance it's going to be in front of them. They're trying to get through this first lap.
You're riding on the outside of the front row. The view is over Bobby Rahal's right shoulder. The yellow light still burns, but in just a few seconds we should see the green wink on because now they are in the third turn and the Quaker State 500 is about to begin. Nick Bonoro is the starter. Jack Pearson of Quaker State, the honorary starter. The green flag flies. Look at them spread 6, 7 abreast, and already we are racing as they scream for the first turn. Here in the Quaker State 500, Mario Andretti swings way to the outside, dives into the first turn, followed by Bobby Rahal, then Michael Andretti, and then Rick Mears.
You notice there are 5 wide coming down the front straightaway. A nice wide racetrack in the front straightaway, but it is rough.
Michael Andretti, we've got a spin coming off of one. Michael Andretti, we're watching. There's a spin. That's Scotty Brayton, and Derek Daly slides through just behind him. So the yellow will fly. That's coming off of the first turn. 2 cars involved, and you can see several down on the grass. Scotty Brayton, who we really expected a great deal out of here today. Scotty started in the 6th position, and look at Johnny Rutherford's car. Johnny Rutherford got involved in that as well. Johnny spun here. You saw the tape of that just a moment ago. And he was in his backup car, and now it's damaged. So the yellow light on with just one turn complete in the Quaker State 500. And Bobby Rahal, let's look at this, Tom Sneva.
Looks like Brayton up high again, passing some people, and there we have trouble.
That's Derek Daly.
All right. Brayton's already in trouble early.
Brayton had lost it coming through the corner, and no indication how Johnny Rutherford might have gotten involved in all of this. Rutherford was starting 12th. Scotty Brayton started in the 6th position. So apparently Scotty was the start of all of it, if you just use the positions. Let's take a look one more time at this. Off of the first turn now.
Again, trouble with Derek Daly, but obviously a dominoes effect. He's obviously reacting to something that Scotty did or happened to his car.
It looks like Scotty Brayton just got it loose, got it up against the wall. Several cars in the tightly packed situation moved to avoid as we see Derek Daly come through. Now we take a look at Derek Daly as the crew trying to work on that machine and get it back into action. Bill Kruger, the crew chief. Bill Kruger, by the way, has 2 races as a driver here at Pocono. He supervises his crew, and let's go to the pits of Derek Daly. Here's Gary Gerald.
Well, Derek's sitting patiently in the cockpit. He's waiting to come down off the jacks. They've changed all the tires, fresh rubber now, and Derek gets back on course after that first lap incident coming out of turn 1.
Well, the situation precautionary then. It doesn't appear that there's damage on Derek Daly's car. They just decided to get all of the tires changed so that he can go racing once again, but it appears that Brayton and Rutherford are out. Sneva, we're under yellow because of a spin with Scotty Brayton coming off of the first turn on the first lap. That's the second year in a row that Scotty Brayton has spun in the first lap of this race. Johnny Rutherford also involved. Both those cars damaged. Johnny Rutherford was incident-free for 9 years in this race, but the past few years haven't been very good for him. Let's go back and look at the start of this race, watching the 10 car of Derek Daly starting in last position.
Derek makes a good move at the start of the race. Fairly conservative, but he's passing cars. He qualified on the second day. Doesn't appear to be any problem, but one of the troubles with starting in the back of the pack is you've got a lot of traffic in front of you. Somebody gets in trouble in front of him, he reacts, and he gets involved.
Well, Scotty Brayton, you'll see him come into the picture. There he is up against the wall. Derek spun it, kept it out of the way. One of the Bettenhausens comes by and says, nice job to Derek. He's back in the race. Let's go to Al Unser Jr.'s pits and Sally.
While that incident was occurring on the track, Al Unser had problems too. There was an electrical fire under his dash, and some CO2 got on his leg and burned him. The car is currently in the pits. They're trying to get it fixed. Al is kind of rummied at his leg. Apparently it's bothering him, but hopefully he'll get back in the car and finish the race. Paul?
So a concern in Al Unser's pits. Now we watch as the pace car brings the field around. It'll be Mario Andretti that leads the field down. By the way, the indications are all drivers in that first lap incident are okay. And of course, Derek Daly came in for fresh tires and dropped back in at the back of the field, ready to go racing once again. There he is, now beginning to pick up speed as Mario Andretti, followed by Bobby Rahal, brings the field through the third turn. The green flag flies again, and on lap number 5, we are racing. Mario Andretti accelerates down that very long main straightaway here. Bobby Rahal tries to make a move. Coming to the inside, there comes Michael Andretti to the inside, while Roberto Guerrero drops inside of Rick Mears.